everyone. Today we'll discuss the topic how to resolve conflict. In the earlier video, we have discussed about different forms, types of conflict. So now today we are going to discuss how to resolve that conflict. Now the first category that we have discussed is intrapersonal conflict. So what can be the strategy for resolving intrapersonal conflict? As we have discussed that this intrapersonal conflict, one of the biggest reason is frustration, or there is no clarity of goals, or there is no clarity of roles. So the one of the biggest strategies, a clarity of goals has to be there. Then minimize roles and fix priorities. We are stuck between different goals of our life, but we need to maintain a balance between those roles and the goals of our life. We need to develop compatibility. This is very important. We need to develop compatibility between personal and organizational goals. I'm also a working lady, so many times I also feel frustrated that how to maintain a balance between my work life and my personal life. But that is the biggest challenge. We have to learn how to maintain a balance between both of the goals, and we should always keep updated and informed. If we will have accurate information, updated information, so we will have a way out for every problems. Take help of seniors, experts. A very important thing and again is, if we are not able to find out the solution, the best thing is go to your elders, go to your seniors, talk to your opinion makers. They will suggest you some good remedies. Now this is something of high values. Develop sattvic gunas in yourself. अपने आप में सात्विक गुण, हम हिंदी में सात्विक गुण बोलते हैं. So develop these sattvic gunas in yourself. Means a life full of purity, a calm mind, and you can develop this with the help of meditation. Start practicing meditation for just 5 minutes daily. We practice in the class as well. So meditation, disciplined life, keeping your mind cool, relaxation exercises, these could help you to get rid of the conflict that is going on within yourself. Self-motivation and self-control are also very important. Now, moving towards the next category, that is resolving interpersonal conflicts. This is in the previous video we have discussed about the conflicts that take place between interpersonal, that means two person or two groups. So when we are talking about interpersonal conflict, all interpersonal strategies can be applied here also. All these strategies which we have discussed here, these strategies can be applied for interpersonal conflicts as well. Then some other strategies are, first, lose-lose approach. Now lose-lose, what is this lose-lose approach? Both the parties which are engaged in the conflict, they stand to lose. Means both the parties are giving up, compromising for something. So this is not very effective. This is less effective strategy. Both the parties are compromising, or third party arbitration is involved, and then so it doesn't give very good results. Now follow existing rules and regulations. So what can we do here is, we can follow the rules and regulations stated by the organization. Then the next strategy is win-lose approach. Now as we can understand, win means one party is winning and the other party is losing its interest. So one party wins, the other party loses its interest. So again, this can also not be a permanent solution to the conflict. Coming to the third approach, that is win-win approach. Now this is the most effective, most desirable approach from individual and organizational point of view. Everybody wants to go for this approach, and the biggest reason behind it is it aims at solving the problem. It looks towards the problem from both viewpoint of both the parties, and both parties, they receive rewarding outcome here. fourth strategy is transactional analysis. We have earlier discussed that ineffective communication or wrong communication is also one of the reasons behind the occurrence of conflict. So transactional analysis is one of the important technique. If we are able to understand this technique, we can resolve many type of conflicts. Here we are not going to discuss this transactional analysis in detail because it is a big process, big phenomena. But I'll just give an overview in brief about it. So, if with the help of transactional analysis, we learn how effective communication or transaction should take place between people. Now, according to this transactional analysis, there are three types of ego states, and then three types of transactions takes place due to these ego states. The three ego states are the parent ego state, adult ego state, and the child ego state. These three ego states are there within every individual. Every individual has a parent ego, then adult ego state, and the child ego state. This is the mature part of our personality. This is the part which balances our personality, and the child ego state which likes pleasure and wants to enjoy everything, wants to make fun of everything. Now, between these ego states, the communication or different type of transactions take place. The three type of transactions that take place are complementary transactions, crossed transactions, and the ulterior transactions. Now, what are these complementary transactions? Complementary means if suppose a person, suppose the manager, he says or orders something to his or her subordinate. Now, suppose he is an elderly person and he has said this thing out of thinking that the employee understands me and he will try to understand what I am saying. But what happens is, if the parent has said, then the child should receive it. But instead of child who has received it, the adult has received it. So what does the adult with inside the subordinate says? What does my boss think? I don't understand anything. He is suggesting me all this. So what happens is the transaction, instead of becoming complementary, it becomes crossed. So what should have happened? The boss, he has behaved like a parent, and the employee, he should have behaved like a child. He should have understood what the boss is trying to explain. But if it would have been happened, then it would have been a complementary transaction. So these are complementary and crossed transaction. Coming to the last type of transaction, that is ulterior transaction. Many times it happens that somebody is saying something, बट द मीनिंग द इनसाइड इज समथिंग एल्स. हम कभी कभी ऐसा करते हैं, हम ऊपर से कुछ और बोल रहे होते हैं और अंदर से हमारा मीनिंग कुछ और रहता है. सपोज समबडी हैज कम, ही इज वेयरिंग अ रेड ड्रेस. मुझे ऐसा फील हो रहा है कि कितना स्टूपिड लग रहा है यार, जितना अच्छा नहीं लग रहा. बट व्हाट आई विल से, आई विल कॉम्प्लीमेंट दैट पर्सन इन फ्रंट ऑफ एवरी. अरे यार क्या लग रहे हो आज. बट मेरे अंदर क्या है, व्हाट आई एम थिंकिंग इनसाइड, कि क्या स्टूपिड ड्रेस पहन के आया है ना. तो मीनिंग क्या कन्वे होगा? मीनिंग विल बी डिस्टॉर्टेड. Real meaning will not be conveyed. So such transactions are ulterior transaction. So what does transactional analysis teach us? That we should try to have proper transactions, proper communication between all our relationships. This will help us out in avoiding the intrapersonal conflicts. Now, coming to the last strategy for interpersonal conflict, we can have different training programs like sensitivity training program and the other training programs which where we get moral training, then value based trainings. Such kind of trainings will help us to change the behavior, attitude of our employees. So these are the different strategies for resolving interpersonal conflict. Now, moving towards the third category of type of conflicts, that is individual and group conflict. Now, what can be the strategy to remove these conflicts? majority wins. This is very popular. We all use this kind of sentence. Majority wins. So this is the best strategy here. And avoiding is one of the best strategy between when the conflict is between individual and group. Do not react. We always say we have to react on any kind of behavior comes to us, but in case of individual and group conflict, sometimes avoiding, that means not reacting, also become a strategy to avoid that situation. Stay out of conflicting situation. Avoiding means हम कुछ देर के लिए, कुछ समय के लिए उस सिचुएशन से अलग हट जा रहे हैं. कभी कभी ये भी अपने आप में बहुत अच्छा सोल्यूशन हो जाता है, बात को बढ़ने नहीं देता है. द इंटेंसिटी ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट डजंट इंक्रीज एंड समटाइम्स इट हैपन्स वहीं पे ही वो रिजॉल्व हो जाता है. देन लेट पीपल कूल डाउन एंड कूल योरसेल्फ. अपने दिमाग को शांत करिए. थोड़ा सा हमने स्पेस दे दिया. वी हैव गिवन स्पेस टू अदर पर्सन एज वेल एंड टू आवरसेल्फ एज वेल. सो व्हाट विल हैपन, थोड़ी देर बाद जब मन शांत होता है, दिमाग शांत होता है, और हम जब उस चीज़ को फिर से एक अच्छे नज़रिए के साथ देखते हैं, समझते हैं, तो हमें एक दूसरा रूप दिखाई देने लगता है और हमको धीरे धीरे समझ में आने लगता है कि शायद बात इतनी बड़ी नहीं थी जितना बड़ा हम समझ रहे थे. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो हाउ वी कैन अवॉइड सच काइंड ऑफ conflicts. Now coming to the last category, that is resolving intergroup and organizational level conflicts. Now, these approaches can be applied to all types of conflicts. Now all approaches of interpersonal conflict, they can be applied here for intergroup and organizational conflicts. Some unique approaches which can be followed here are compromise or smoothing, then organizational redesigning, collaboration, expansion of resources, avoidance strategy, competing strategy, and accommodating strategy. This we have discussed in the earlier video also, so I'm not explaining this in detail here. Compromising or smoothing, that means we are trying to find out a midway. We are trying to understand each other's objective and we are trying to find out a midway solution. Then coming to organizational redesigning. Sorry, the video was interrupted. We were discussing about the organizational redesigning. Suppose there is some problem with the structure or the system of the organization, or the hierarchical structure we can say, or authority responsibility relationship, some problem is coming there. So the best remedy there can be, we can redesign, restructure the organization. Suppose we came to know that the organization requires more open system, so we can go for two-way communication system. Or now the employees, the type of employees that we are having, so they are people who want participation, so we can move towards a participative structure, a democratic style of leadership, also a democratic style of structure. Now moving towards the next strategy, that is collaboration strategy. Make people feel that they make the conflicting parties feel that they need each other, and make them understand that they have common goals which require each other's participation, each other's cooperation. So this is collaborating strategy. Then expansion of resources. One of the biggest reason behind the conflict is the scarcity of resources. Everybody wants resources and nobody wants to compromise for it. So it is the responsibility of the boss or the leader that we should try, if it is possible, we should try to increase the amount of resources which is required by all the departments, all the employees for their work. Then next is avoidance, which we have discussed in the earlier part also. Avoidance means we are moving out of the situation for some time, let the situation cool down, and then we can restart, we can sit and try to understand each other's objective, each other's point of view. Then the next is competing, when our goals are competing goals. So sometimes we are stuck into situation where we have to think for ourselves only. So if the situation is that you have to satisfy your own interest, you have to give importance to it, so go for competing strategy. Lastly, accommodating strategy, that means accept the differences, try to understand where the differences are and how it can be resolved. So this is the accommodating. We are accommodating means we are trying to adjust, we are trying to understand what the other party is thinking about it. So this is accommodating strategy. So this is all about how to resolve conflict. Here we end up with this chapter, with this topic, that is the conflict resolution management. Every organization wishes to have a cooperative environment where every employee is working with cooperation and mutual understanding. Such kind of conflicts, they hinder the process, they hinder the working of the organization, and they leads to lowering down the productivity and overall performance. So it is not only the responsibility of bosses or the leaders. Every individual working in the organization should take this responsibility, that we maintain a conducive environment in the